Hello there and welcome back to my channel, everyone. It's time to listen to the song One Milkali, in parentheses One Blood, from Electric Fields, which is the Australian representative for Eurovision, I guess, in 2024. It's just been announced that this is the song and this is the artist, and I don't think there's been any information about this prior to, well, this moment basically, when I'm gonna record this video and listen to this song for the first time, which I'm of course very much looking forward to. Australia is, I just thought about it the other day. I think I haven't really disliked anything that they've sent to Eurovision so far. And this is of course their 10th entry now, isn't it? Which is quite mad to think about. But so yeah, hopefully they celebrate this, what do you say, this accomplishment with something good. I'm just excited to listen to it, so let's do it right away. One Blood, indeed. I gotta say, I'm not so sold on this just yet. I think that it's very admirable how varied the instrumental approach is throughout this song. I think that is actually very much something cool and something that I really appreciate about it. Especially as well, like the song really progresses and you really want to present a lot of different ideas to the listener, maybe in a way that feels a little too hectic, but I think that's really kind of the point of this as well, that they want to really make sure that the song showcases so many various styles and various really core instrumental segments. I think this is a wonderful input. I'm just guessing and assuming here, but to my ears, it kind of sounds like a didgeridoo of some sort that's scattered here and there in the song, and that would be a really cool way to really draw in the Australian culture into your song. Of course, I could be wrong, and it's just some other instrument that I'm not familiar with, but it definitely had that characteristic to it. And if that's the case, I think that is a very neat touch to the song to really drag us into the whole world building of this representing Australia, really. Throughout the song, though, there are a lot of ideas to scatter around a simple pop tune with like bright house chords in terms of the piano, and then a lot of reliance on the bass to actually kind of create the pulse and the rhythm of the song. The drum beats are simple. There are nice fills here and there. I think that's playful with the panning as well. It feels like they really had fun putting this together, which I really enjoy listening to. It's a very lush and full kind of listening experience in terms of its instrumental. At the same time, though, the vocals don't really, like, it's obviously well sung, and I think it's addictive with the chanting, and it's sing-along friendly in that regard. Feels very inviting, but it's mostly reliant on long notes without much of a melodic intonation in terms of its variation, which kind of makes me lose a little bit of my interest. And I think that if you rely, there is a real great reliance on this hook for this song to really just imprint itself on the audience's minds and really get them to sing along with you. And when you succeed with that, that's perfect, because then everyone will be involved in it, except for the ones who don't like the hook, you know, but still. But here I feel like maybe this one isn't as instant. I don't think that it's very much like rhythmically engaging. It's not really enough there to really get me instantly involved in it. It might be a grower, I'm not sure, but right now I just feel like the actual rhythmic intensity of this song isn't really there, especially in terms of its melody. It's long notes, it's dragged out, it's very kind of just bumped up in terms of velocity, but it's not really that mixed and varied throughout, and really doesn't have that drive to it, I guess. I think that's probably the main thing. It doesn't really create all of that energy as I want it to have. It relies a lot on the instrumental, this kind of uplifting beat that they got going for them with the piano chords and whatnot, and the continuous bass. They kind of rely a lot on that to really just establish the energy and maintain that. But I think that you never really go the extra step in terms of your melody, not really contrasting that rhythm. It's just reliant a lot on the long notes and really being impressive in that regard, I guess, but also kind of uninteresting in that regard, I would say. I don't really click with this. It doesn't really do any finesse in terms of its actual composition, I feel. It's very playful in terms of actually arranging it, and the instrumental side of things is cool and enjoyable. I think that it's fun to listen to in that regard, but melodically it just isn't that interesting. You got the chords being very much the same throughout, and also played in a very kind of staccato manner, but not with a lot of flavor to them and not with a lot of color, which just makes it kind of a little bit on the flat side, I guess, as an overall listening experience. And when you combine that with actually having the melody not be as interesting as I think it really should be, I want them to explore the scale more. I want them to really develop this melody further and actually enhance it and actually be more rhythmic with it as well, because I feel like the long notes can get a bit tiresome. And in this case, I really feel like the song kind of just progresses, but and stamping along in its own little box, and it doesn't really go anywhere where I want it to be. It's just pleasant, fine for what it is, but I'm also kind of zoning out of it, and I think they really need to lift that up with a performance. I'm sure they will, with also really creating an inviting environment to it on stage. And I think it's probably going to be very, very appreciated within an arena and whatnot. But for someone who's looking at it from a distance, I'm not sure if it's really the right way to go, because it feels very much like a song that gets the crowd invested in the moment and in that space. I sit here now and I feel nothing for it, unfortunately, and I'm not dragged into it. And that could just, of course, be a me issue, but I feel like the approach that they've taken, especially when it comes to melody, isn't effective. And I'm going to be blunt and say that. I really would have liked to enjoy this more upon my first listen. Maybe I will enjoy it tons in just a week's time. Who knows? But right now, I feel like it might have been just a little bit of a letdown. It's creative in terms of actually instrumental arrangement and how it progresses within the song. There's also a great flow with it. I gotta say that. Like the structure of the song really works, and I do like that they maintain the energy in the instrumental, especially like there in the second verse, that you don't kill it off. But you need something more to really keep me invested throughout the entire 3 minutes. So yeah, slightly let down, but not overly so. I think it's still fine. It's a nice touch to the selection as well, and I'm very fond I'm very fond of this kind of relation, I guess it has to Australia. It feels very much like it should absolutely represent them, and I'm happy for that. And we'll see how it's gonna go in May. It might, win the whole thing. What do I know? I'm just someone on the internet who talks about his opinions on things, and maybe you agree with them or maybe you disagree with them. You can let me know in the comments. I read all of them, and I'm looking forward to read some on this video as well. But that's it. That's everything for now. A little bit unfortunate. Maybe I was a bit too harsh. I'm not sure. I'll have to come back to it. But for the moment, I'm looking forward to listening to something that piques my interest a little bit more next time, unfortunately. But it is what it is. Hope you enjoyed watching this video anyway, and thank you so much for sticking around. I will see you soon again, hopefully. Bye for now, though.